What is up mga Kaka-Sports Plus? Welcome to another edition of SPNation Season 2. My name is Javi Palanya. It's Friday and we have a host of hot topics ready for you. And of course, with me today are our two panelists. On my left side is NCAA analyst Coach Hammer, Martin Antonio, and of course, Dino Lee.
Grabe. Parang napaka-underdressed ko naman. Dumating ito.
Kala ko kasi TV Patrol yung pupuntahan ko.
Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy weekend sa mga nakatutok sa atin.
We have a lot of really hot topics lined up for you today. 3 topics to be exact. Let's dive down into what we're going to talk about for this Friday's edition of SPNation Season 2. Of course, first up, we have the John Amores incident, which just happened very recently. And second topic is the retirement of Derrick Rose. And lastly, we have a PBA bracket error that we're gonna talk about na talagang pinag-usapan na nila Coach Yeng tsaka ni Coach Chot Reyes. We're gonna get to that for our last topic. All right, let's dive right down into it. First off, we have the John Amores incident. Now, John Amores, who already had incidents in the past with the UCBL when he went up against UP when he was still with JRU, and in the NCAA, that very infamous incident that happened against the CSB Blazers where he ran amok mid-game. And of course, itong very recently nga, itong shooting incident na nangyari that got him charged for attempted murder, but nakapiyansa na siya no, for 24,000. Now, Dino, what are your thoughts about this incident? This might be a first in Philippine basketball.
Well, it's a first dahil it's been all over social media, but I don't know. Baka kung retroactive tayo, there are other things hindi naman natin alam kung ano yung nangyayari. But again, it's attempted murder. You shoot someone. Wala naman tayong Second Amendment right na you can bear arms and all that unless may permit to carry siya. But again, shooting at somebody is not the right thing to do. Talagang, parang mapatay ka nun eh.
Pero kasi ang naging kwento, ang naging haka-haka is parang he was provoked or parang inabangan siya that forced him to get into that kind of rage.
Sa akin, bago ko pag-usapan yung topic, sa akin sigh of relief na walang tinamaan at walang nasaktan. And ang masaklap dyan, if ever may stray bullet ka,
yung mga crowded area.
Kasi open air.
Oo, di ba? So sa akin, yun yung pasalamat ko. And syempre, medyo mahirap din maniwala sa mga chismis. Sa akin, I send my thoughts and prayers dun sa mga na-traumatized with that incident. Kasi kung wala naman physical injury dyan or walang tinamaan, may mental trauma yan eh. So I send the thoughts and prayers to whoever was the victim and to their families with what happened. Pero sa akin, there's no place for violence in this world. And ang masasabi ko lang dyan kay John Amores, dyan yung papasok is the more you F around, the more you find out. And nakikita ko dito kay John Amores, tinitest niya yung limit eh. Diba? Before, isang sapak lang. That was, napilitan si Mark Belmonte na mag-surgery. Tapos, dumami na. Isang team na yung inatake niya. Then, nabigyan siya ng chance sa MPBL. And then, with Zamboanga Valentes, tapos na-draft siya sa PBA. Who gets a 5th round pick who gets to have a contract in the PBA? Rarely do you see that kind of opportunity given to a 5th round pick. And now, you push your limit further by attempting to kill someone using a gun.
Okay.
Sa akin, at some point, sige, na-bail out siya, napiyansahan siya, but at some point, your rock will run out unless you keep your stuff together.
Yeah. Well, ako naman, with that being said, I have a personal relationship with the kid. Okay, I've known this kid since he was in high school. I'm a big believer of his talent. He was one of the best high school players coming out of the Light Bombers. With that being said, it's very stupid, it's very dumb, it's very out of control. And the context is the biggest opponent of mental clarity in any situation is emotions. if you go retroactive, the Mark Belmonte incident, what happened? He protected his teammate. Sinabi ko sa'yo kanina. With the CSB game, what happened? He protected his teammate. With this incident, his brother, as quote-unquote, air quotes lang tayo kasi we can't really confirm it, sila lang yung nakakaalam. He said that he was protecting his brother. So, ano yung madederive mo doon? Was he really the instigator? Or was he just having an outburst to protect people around him? Hindi natin alam. Ako hindi ko alam. Pero number one, hindi ka dapat anything of violence is something. Pero again, I saw the CSB game going into the stands for one. If you get punched without being called, of course you would snap. It's a very physical game. You do not provoke violence and mali talaga eh. Mali kung mali na. Buti nakapagpiyansa. Buti walang tinamaan. Buti walang shooting, di ba? Buti walang shooting, hindi tumama. Kasi yun talaga yung...
Ay, shooting pero di tumama.
Sa akin talaga, there's no justification or there's no excuse.
Wala.
Even dun sa UP, okay, sige.
Binanatan, bro, di. Pinanood mo yung buong laro? Binanatan, pre. Binanatan din sila. Napanood mo?
Hindi, so, sa akin, papasok tayo sa driving eh. So,
okay.
example, sa driving, gusto mo lagi katama.
Hindi, Brad. Hindi.
Marami naman, sa akin, di ba, kung you don't wanna put yourself in harm's way, especially,
defensive ka na.
di ba, sabi mo nga, coach, may family na nga siya. He just signed a 2-year contract. Kakasabi lang ni Coach Hammer kanina. Tapos, di ba, parang gusto mo maging tama ka.
Emotions got the best
diba?
of him. Lagi ganun.
And yung ego natin, if you cannot control it, eventually you'll end up in a bad place.
So you're saying he continued to test his limits by continuing to have himself provoked?
Ang tanong kasi, dun sa tao, why would you test a guy who has a track record like that? I mean, we always pin it to that person, to one person na, okay, sige, nag-retaliate. Parang sa basketball, hindi tinatawagan yung unang nanira.
Laging
Never!
bumabawi.
Pre, naglaro kayo ng iba't ibang sports. Pag binanatan ka, pag marunong ka magbigay, kailangan marunong ka rin tumanggap. Di ko pinagtatanggol si John Amores. Pero kasi nakikita natin yung ganti. Hindi po ito dun sa shooting incident ha. Going retroactively ako. Pag nakikipagbanatan, syempre nagkakapigo na. Tinamaan yung kakampi sa mukha. Bumawi siya. Ayun nga. Nagkataon lang na marunong sumuntok yung John Amores. Basag yung mukha. Yun yung totoo eh. Tinamaan si Mark Belmonte. Inawat naman eh. And he apologized for it. That's number one. Number two, yung sa CSB, nagkakabanatan sila. Okay. Nag-stop na naman siya. Ito matama eh. Mali yata ang sport si John Amores. Pero again, kidding aside, there's no point in violence with it. There's no point in violence. But again, if you know how to give, you need to know how to take hits. It's plain and simple. If you're an enforcer, you need to do that. And for people who are testing people like guys who have anger, hindi mo kasi alam eh kung ano yung mga pinagdadaanan nila. And hindi ko kinokondone ha. Pero sa akin kasi, bago tayo mag-finger point, tingnan muna natin, what's the whole story? What's the method to the madness? And yung bata, really needs some counseling. He needs anger management, number one. And number two, he needs a spotter.
Yeah.
He needs a spotter, man.
Sa akin, with the trend or the track that he's going through right now, parang, yes, we always tell na kailangan niya ng tulong, pero you can only help someone that wants to be helped.
Yeah. I mean, what if the guy just showed up to play basketball? He just wanted to play basketball.
Paano kung wala naman talaga siyang intention naman talaga to hurt anybody, but yeah, he just showed up to the game, naprovoke lang talaga siya.
Gusto niya there was an intent eh.
Inabangan eh.
Hindi, tsaka sa akin, nilagay mo sarili mo doon sa posisyon na maalanganin ka.
Yun ang number one.
Tsaka at the same time, kung nagpakumbaba na lang siya, aabot ba dyan?
Pero kasi nga,
kung nagpakumbaba siya, di ba? Ganun lang din naman
ang point of contention.
Sa driving eh, di ba? Nasingitan ka. Babawiin mo. Kung nagpakumbaba ka na lang.
Pero ito nga yung point of contention. Sinasabi mo, nagpakumbaba, umalis na yung tao. Umalis dun sa point. Sila yung dumayo. Umalis.
Pero Coach Hammer...
Pero nag-ano siya eh, sumugod siya eh.
Yun ang kailangan natin malaman.
Nagpakumbaba eh. Kung sa akin, kung nagpakumbaba ka na lang, di ba? Hindi mo na pinalaki yung issue. O sige, parang instead na maging tama ka, nagpakumbaba ka na lang at iniwasan mo na lang yung gulo, it could have been avoided.
Yeah, exactly.
Pero Coach Hammer, Dino, one more thing that is in contention here is, you have a PBA contract. Anong ginagawa mo na naglalaro ka ng ligang labas?
Hindi ligang labas eh. Papawis eh. Pustahan. Oh, okay. So that's number one. Ito kasi yan eh. Kung ako, pre, gusto ko magpapawis, may message ako ng mga kaibigan ko. Unang hahanapin ko, doon ako sa loob. Ligang loob ako, baka matamaan ako eh, di ba? Para Javi, saan ba kayo? Mag-pick up game ba kayo sa URC? Okay, mag-pick up game ba kayo sa mga bagong court natin dyan sa around Metro Manila? That's number one. That's the dumbest thing you could ever do. Play out. Di ba? Hindi, it's not even the money, it's the dumbest thing. Gusto mo magpapawis, find people na alam mong papawis yung laro, hindi intergulpihan. That's number one. Number two, lalagyan mo ng money game. Sa Pilipinas, walang natalo sa Pilipinas na ubusan lang ng oras o nagkagulo. Tama, Abby, nagko-cover tayo ng regional basketball. Lagi niya na sinasabi, nagkagulo. Yun yung pinakamali ni John Amores. That's the number one thing. And the three of us can really agree that you have no point, you have no business in playing there. Marami kang mga kaibigan na nasa Manila na tabla yung nilalaroan. Dito ka maglaro. So, ang sama pa ng matchup. Ito yung di ba? Styles makes fights. Pumapatol. Hinamon mo, patol. Nagkamali silang dalawa parehas. A lot of people are tough. Ako, sinasabi ko nga, hindi ako tough. Kasi ako ayoko talaga sa away. Lumalayo ako sa away. Pero may mga tao na, pagka pre-novoke mo,
Magnet sa ano eh.
Oh, Brad.
Magnet eh.
This guy's facing...
Every year eh. Parang every year suki eh.
Lagi may bago. But you know, this guy right now, he's facing about 6 to 12 years in prison.
If
real talk lang tayo, hinamon, lumaban.
Ako, sa totoo lang, kung ako ang... If there was... Kumbaga may wish ako dito, makulong na lang. Kasi baka may madamay pang iba eh. Kasi if he had the guts to shoot at someone, better na makulong na lang siya at wala na siya madamay next time. Kasi you never know next time around.
There's always... we can say some
there's a price,
stuff like
there's
that.
a price to pay.
Okay, sige. We can say stuff like that. They haven't gotten the weapon. That's number one. Number two, they had... I think there was an article na lumabas kanina, Paraffin test. He was negative. I mean, we like shooting guns in a gun range. So if you shoot, there would always be paraffin gas.
Yeah.
Takes 3 days for it to be out. So why? Hindi ko alam paano nila process na gano'n. 24,000 bail? Yeah. But number one thing, he needs to get his act together. That's number one. Because there are certain things that pwede na tayo magpalitan ng kuro-kuro.
Pero kung lagi mong bibigyan ng chance, ang hirap eh.
Pero
at some point, someone's gonna end up...
Oh yeah. Definitely.
End up dead.
So you're saying that after this, whether makulong siya ng 6 years or 12 years, that's it for him?
He has to serve whatever he needs to serve. Then if he changes, so be it. Pero right now, I don't think he's a loose cannon eh.
Number one, we have due process.
So you have due process, you follow due
process.
process. Pero ang nakikita ko dito, he has to go behind the bars.
Well, that's the jurisdiction of our judges. But again, proof should be laid. Okay, so number one, we need to pinpoint. Bago tayo magbato ng mga idea, what happened prior to it? May CCTV, marami nagbe-video. Okay, that's what happened. That's how you break down games. That's how you break down fights. Ano nangyari sa first round? What provoked the incident? That's number one. Number two, what was the first reaction? Okay, nag-react. Nakita natin yun. Blah, 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 blah. And then, ano yung point of entry and point of exit in that situation? Okay, nandito ka sa court. Paano ka ba aalis dyan? Kasi kailangan mong bumail out. Tapos, kailangan malaman, where did the shooting happen? Where did the shooting happen? Were you exiting? Or did you come back to the venue? Or when you were exiting, were there people waiting for you?
Yeah.
Yun yung number one.
Kasi
pag yung process na yun, na-prove na bumalik siya, wala na tayong point of contention dyan. Ibig sabihin, hindi yan self-defense. It's a manhunt. Correct? Di ba ganun yun eh?
Yeah, kasi hindi naman natin alam yung nangyari.
Exactly.
So, syempre, you have to follow due process.
Exactly.
But ako
Yun yung procedural.
Sa akin talaga, lahat na.
The end goal is for him to get behind bars. For you.
Sa akin, parang the fact na ginawa mo yun, after the many chances and opportunities you've gotten, parang kailangan cool off ka muna. Cool off in jail.
Pero not always jail ang sagot.
Oh, pwede.
He needs definitely he needs
Pero
counseling.
scary nun eh. Paano, yun lang sa akin eh. Paano
We can't operate on hypotheticals. The number one thing that we need to know is he shot someone.
Kaya nga, we're operating on hypotheticals.
So
that's why...
if you can prove it in a
Hindi, yun nga, if you're gonna allow him to run in public, tapos bumaril ulit, tapos may tinamaan na, ano sasabihin mo dun sa magulang? Ano sasabihin mo dun sa anak?
So we would bank on the assumption that he would do it again.
Given the history.
Okay. So,
Given the
that's-
history.
Ako...
Kasi yung nangyari, parang yung unang incident,
Given the history.
isa lang yung
Hindi,
sinapakas sa
so,
buong team, tapos ngayon may binaril na.
May trend eh, may trend eh.
Hindi.
Palala ng palala yung
Okay.
nangyayari.
Baka natatapat. Kasi, di ba, we can get to former athletes who went through it. Okay? Not Filipino athletes in Western sports.
Draymond Green lang yan, given the history.
Yeah, hindi Draymond Green. We get the real stuff. Ray Lewis. Proven. Ano nangyari? This happened. Somebody got shot with a gun licensed to him. What happened with pagsisiyasat, investigation, and then due process, and then what happened? The question is there a structure that can support him? Kasi kung wala, dapat talaga ikulong. Yun lang talaga. Kung yun yung magiging makaka-assure na marireform siya, that he would, para siyang loose cannon yun. We're treating him like something radioactive. Diba? Parang gano'n. But again, ako, agam-agam ko lang po yan. Personal take yan dahil with our exposure sa other sports.
So what you're saying, Coach,
Ako,
is you're okay having him,
No. You get
but
him.
have the structure.
Yeah. Hindi siya ano eh.
Pero do you think he wants help? Kasi iba
He
yung
needs help. Iba yung want.
Hindi, mas importante yung want. Kasi kahit anong gustong tulong sa'yo, pero hindi ka willing magpatulong, wala rin.
He will get help. He will get help. He needs help. And the number one thing is for him.
Does he want help?
Seek it.
Yun yung question. That's
Yeah,
the big,
yun nga yung
that's a big
problema
question.
eh.
Does he want help?
And he is the only one that can answer that.
Yeah, but with everything that's happened, I think it's not whether he wants it or not. I think he really needs it, and he really needs to get into whatever reformation that could happen to him right now.
But again, as Mike Tyson said, everybody's tough that somebody gets punched in the face. So he needs a big punch on his face. That, look, this is the reality, John. This is your uncle speaking to you, and if you watch this video, you gotta shape up. It's either you would end up in a very small room by yourself thinking about the life choices that you made, or you have to shape up, think of your family, and be a better person. Strike 3 ka na, brother. So you have to really understand what the repercussions, kasi baka yung genie hanggang 3 wish lang eh.
Yeah,
diba?
exactly. You have to.
Yung genie hanggang 3 wish lang.
You have to protect. At the end of the day, you have to protect him. You already have to protect him from himself.
Oo. Yun nga eh.
Wala eh, hindi niya makontrol yung emotions. Yes, everyone has, like sabi nga ni Coach Hammer, everyone has emotions. Diba? We're valid to feel those emotions. Anger, depression,
But how you
sadness.
control it eh.
But it's how you control it eh. Diba? May iba talaga, like, example, for John, hindi talaga niya nakokontrol. So, that's his challenge right now. And, ako, sinasagad niya, tinitest niya talaga, and at some point, your luck is gonna run out of.
Kaya, para dun sa mga nanonood sa atin, always operate within your limits. Do not be emotional. Try to remove emotions. Di ba? Mental clarity. Naulog yung headset ko kasi seryoso ako nagsasalita ngayon. It's one of those nights, okay? Yung emotions kasi it's a big thing that derails your mental clarity. At yung mental clarity is your sharpness eh. Parang sa driving, tama si Dino eh. Pagka nagda-drive ka, naunahan ka, okay na lang bro. Stay blessed. Ganun na lang eh. Wala ka namang magagawa eh. Kahit makipag-away ka dyan, wala nang mangyayari.
And sometimes, being raw, kumbaga, nagpakumbaba ka na lang, it creates peace in your life rather than being.
It's never wrong to exercise humility and patience. And you would always be put in situations that would test your patience. And if you're humble enough to really exhale and just say, okay, sige.
You choose your battles.
Yeah.
Choose your battles.
All right, everybody who's watching right now, chime in with your comments
Yep.
and your suggestions on what happened with the incident. Dun sa ating comment section, and we'll check your
We do not
comments.
condone violence in any way.
All right, let's move on to the second topic. We have the retirement of Derrick Rose
Ang
after
bibigat ng mga ano natin, topic natin
16
yung araw na-
seasons in the NBA. Derrick Rose has retired at age 35. He put out an announcement in the local newspapers where he played in, and also put out in social media the announcement that he is retiring and saying that he is now going to focus full-time on his family. Dino, I'm sure
There's something that
I'm
John
sure all
Amores
of
should
us,
be doing.
I'm sure all of us witnessed the greatness of Derrick Rose, and we're here to give him his flowers on the 16-year NBA career that he had, youngest MVP ever in the NBA. What are your thoughts on this? Is this too early of a retirement, or you think this is the right timing for him?
I'm just happy for him. Kasi kita naman, I think, given the injuries, he gave it all.
Yeah.
And for him to hang it at this moment, parang, alam mo yun, parang before pa lang, yung alam kong nahihirapan na siya with his NBA career because he never really came back to where he was prior to the ACL tear that he had back in 2012. So sa akin, parang gusto ko na siya mag-move forward dun sa next chapter. Pero I think deep down inside, gusto niya ng closure eh. Kaya sinubukan niya talaga to play. And ako, happy ako kay Derrick Rose and I wish him luck with the next chapter of his life. Pero looking back, ako sayang talaga yung career ni Derrick Rose in my opinion. Kasi ang daming what ifs, what could have been. Given the trajectory that he was having, he never even reached his peak as a basketball player. Because when he had that ACL injury nung 2012 against Philadelphia 76ers, if I'm not mistaken, he was 23 at that time. And he won the MVP a year prior. Tapos ang peak usually ng basketball, coach, 28, 30, ganun. So, sayang eh. And if I were to put comparisons in the modern day yung mga players ngayon, nakikita ko dyan, I guess yung mga naabutan natin, si Brandon Roy, Kawhi Leonard currently, di ba? So sa akin, ganun yung nakikita ko doon na hindi lang si Derrick Rose yung mga nasayang na career. There's...
Yung pala yung naabutan niya na. Kasi ako medyo I would go
sa akin,
a little bit.
pero sa akin, kung comparison-wise, I think Brandon Roy. Kasi short career lang. Si Derrick Rose nga humaba eh. Pero he was on that trajectory as well eh. On becoming a great NBA player. And yun lang, sa akin sayang. And if there was a memory that I could recall of Derrick Rose, it was the Smart Ultimate All-Star Weekend back in 2011.
Nanood ka ba?
Oo. Pumila ako nung 2011 sa Smart, 2011 yun. I remember, if I can recall, it was July. And dalawang araw yun eh. The Saturday was against the PBA All-Stars. The Sunday, it was...
Against Gilas 1.
Gilas, yung sila JV Casio,
Yeah.
Chris Chu. So, nainggit ako nung Saturday, nood lang ako sa TV. Tapos, nagsabi nila na magre-release pa sila ng additional tickets. So, parang nagbakasakali na lang kami. Pumila kami ng Sunday morning. First time ko pumila for a ticket, di ba? I don't line up for concerts, but I line up for sports events. Kasi, that was the 2011 NBA lockout.
Yes.
So, parang that
Lahat.
was
Lahat, nandun.
andun si Kobe, andun si Chris Paul, andun si Kevin Durant, andun si James Harden, Derek Fisher, JaVale McGee. 'Di ba? Parang for you to have a chance to see all those stars in one game, it's all worth it. Parang 1.5 nga lang yung ticket eh. Whew.
Best 1-5 is...
Best
1.5
1.5
tapos
you've ever
upper...
spent?
Oh, best 1.5 upper box, upper A ba yun? Upper box A sa Araneta. Sa akin, tapos they were chanting his MVP. Kasi fresh from MVP season niya eh. So sa akin, it was ako hindi ko makakalimutan yung experience yun. Kasi I've never watched an NBA game live. So I'm just, going back, I'm just happy that he's retired. And I'm excited for his next chapter. Kasi deserve na niya.
He was going on a sort of fairy tale trajectory in his career, playing for the city that he grew up in, winning Rookie of the Year, and then becoming the youngest MVP. But these injuries just really derailed him. Ikaw Coach Hammer, ano ba mga happy memories mo about Derrick Rose's career?
Number one, Derrick Rose won me an NBA 2K championship with my boys because I was using them with my favorite player, Carlos Boozer. So, yung memory ko talaga. But again, kidding aside, watched him in the Final Four and the finals of the NCAA. Rio Chalmers knocking down that corner three broke my heart. But again, I was a Chris Douglas Roberts fan nung college sila. Teammates sila. And then Derrick Rose was the number one guy coming up. Simeon Rice, sila nila
Si Brandon Dash, kalaban nila nun.
Oo,
si
yan.
Mario
Ang lakas nun.
Chalmers.
Cole Aldrich, yung team na yun. Stacked with NBA players yung squad ng Kansas during that time. But I was NBA draft.net pa nun. Yan, grade school pa yata kayo nun. NBA draft.net, meron pa rin nun. So I was looking at, kasi si Jared Bayless, siya yung hype na player. Kasi mahilig ako
Arizona ba? Jared
Oo.
Bayless?
Doon ako mahilig sa mga player comp, sa ano ba yung mga attributes nila. I'm Kevin Love eh. Tsaka OJ Mayo, bro. OJ Mayo was my favorite high school player. Sila ni Bill Walker.
Yeah.
So nasa Huntington High sila noon. Kasi sa slam, tapos pag nag-go online yan, mapapanood mo yung games. So, and then Derrick Rose came in. Parang ako, Michael Beasley. Uy, Michael Beasley, siyempre big man ako, mas gusto ko yung rebound. Hindi ko alam na crazy pala si Michael Beasley. May pagka ganun, pag naglaro. So, and then Derrick Rose was, and then, Rookie of the Year.
Derrick Rose.
Grabe. And my fondest, my favorite Derrick Rose photo, meron pa akong poster noon sa weights room ko. Yung dunk niya kay, recently retired, white boy sa Phoenix. Number 2, Goran Dragic.
Goran Dragic, yeah. The two-handed slam.
Oo, pare. Kinap dito.
Fast break yun, di ba?
Yeah, fast break.
Kinap dito. Binigay sa akin yung poster niya ng teammate ko, si Franz Delgado. Kasi idol na idol niya si Derrick Rose. So sabi niya, bro, lagyan mo to sa weights room mo para lagi mo ako maaalala. So nandun yun. Na parang, yeah, he deserved all the, Brandon Roy. Sino pa ba yung sinabi mong isa? Kawhi won tong championships, he justified it. But Penny Hardaway.
Pero ang daming...
Penny Hardaway.
Pero imagine if Kawhi was healthy.
Could be. Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway.
Si Greg Oden nga.
Greg
Hindi nga natin nakita.
Oden.
Hindi nga natin nakita
Some
yun
of
eh.
these guys. And some older guys, Ralph Sampson, na favorite ng mga uncles ko because when he was with the University of Virginia, 3-time college player of the year, 7'4", could handle the rock. He was Victor Wembanyama before Victor Wembanyama was. That was Ralph Sampson, and he teamed with
Tsaka tandem nila si Hakeem Olajuwon.
Silang dalawa with the University of Houston. Sa Houston Rockets na nun. So, I mean, he had a full career. Niyo, umiyak kayo naluha kayo nung nakita niyo yung 50 points niya sa Minnesota. It was a turn back time. Pero ako, on removing my fan hat, I am more mas bilib ako. And I respected him more watching his rehab. Kasi strength and conditioning coach ako, ititignan ko, ang hirap bumalik sa isang ACL injury. Ang hirap bumalik na yung kabilang tuhod mo, may meniscus injury. Ang hirap bumalik pag yung dalawang tuhod mo, may bone bruise, pati yung ankle mo, bumigay. So his lower extremities were really shot because 9.8 meters per second squared, that's gravity, and your Derrick Rose is around 190 pounds. When he stops on one foot and he turns, the torque that he puts on his knee is almost 1,900 newtons. So, para kayo nagbabagsak ng ganung kabigat sa maliit na pwesto. Yun yung science behind it. So, nung nag-snap yun, kaya hindi siya makabalik dun sa dati. Siguro, it's mental and it's the whole structure na rin na bumigay. But again, he gave us so many highlights and so many fond memories.
But Coach Hammer, 35 years old yung age niya now when he retired. Do you think it was too early or do you think it's the right time?
Just enough. Just enough. He spent 18 years, good 18 years of his life dedicated to the game. We might have not gotten the best of him. We seen an MVP season, a transcendence, a very exciting first 4 years. And he gave us all those stories. He gave us those highlights. Gave us glimpses from the past every so often. But he fought for it. He fought tooth and nail to get back.
Dino, last thing. Do you think that what would be the limit or what would be the achievements of Derrick Rose had he not gotten all those injuries? Do you think he would have ended up a champion?
Easy.
For sure, he's gonna be an NBA 75 anniversary
Yeah.
team yan. For sure.
Hindi ba siya kasama?
Tapos si Kodav,
Kasi nag-MVP siya.
Hindi siya
nasama dahil
si Kawhi nasama eh.
No?
Pero he could have been an NBA 75 team. Tapos he could have possibly won multiple championships kasi may Jimmy Butler siya noon, no? Yung Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Joakim Noah. Honestly, I would have felt they could have contended against Miami.
We never
If he was
realized
there.
the full
If he was
potential of
healthy,
that trio.
If he was healthy. Yun.
Ikaw, Coach Hammer.
Could have had a career like Allen Iverson. one MVP, one of the transcendent players. The first guy that in your generation, in you guys, yung combo guard na attacker that opened up the door for silang dalawa ni Russell Westbrook.
Batchmate sila eh.
Oh,
so if you remember, mas malakas si Derrick Rose kay Russell.
Oo, malayo.
Layo.
Kasi
Imagine what the Westbrook's career, imagine if si Derrick Rose nakapalaro mas.
But Derrick Rose showed a lot of his personality kasi ibang klase silang dogs eh. Different type of dogs sila. Russell Westbrook was a typical pit bull. Derrick Rose was a Rottweiler. He protects his team. Kaya, di ba, home team eh. He is fond of really playing. And di ba nga, yung mga stories about him in their finals games that he was, after winning in the first half, tambakan na eh. Di na siya umi-score, pinapa-feel na niya doon sa teammates niya. And then when his coach asked, he could have gone for the MVP. Bakit hindi? Sabi niya, it's the highest achievement of my teammates and I want them to cherish it and embrace it. Yung ganun. So, he is that type of person. Si Westbrook kasi, hindi hihinto. That's why I like Westbrook.
Alright,
I'm a Westbrook fan.
Alright, mga Sports Plus, chime in on your comments about Derrick Rose's career, his 16-year NBA career, retiring at 35. And we'll check it out later on after our topics. Let's move on to the next topic, our last topic for tonight's edition.
Okay, at least ito medyo...
PBA
kasi
bracketing error.
Kasi parang nilalaro mo na... Asa ba yung scriptwriter natin, nilalaro yung emotion namin ni ano eh.
PBA bracket error. Okay, so what happened was, ang nangyari, di ba, dalawang groups yung PBA for
Strong
this
versus
conference.
strong eh, no?
Yeah. What happened was, in the semis, possible na magharap yung dalawang number 1 teams. When usually, what the style is or what the format is, yung dalawang number 1 teams usually sa finals na yan mag-meet. Because it incentivizes being the top team in your group. But yun nga, this one, nasabi na ni Coach Yeng, nasabi na rin ni Coach Chot na dahil number 1 maghaharap sa semis, parang walang naging advantage yung pagiging number 1 mo sa grupo mo.
Baka typo error to eh. Feeling ko, kailangan lang i-check typo error. Kasi ngayon lang ako nakakita,
Ako sa akin, hindi imposible na sinadya nila na para at least may sure na isang kahit pa paano mas malaking chance may SMC team. Ako, imposible. Ako, it was pumalpak. Ako, nung nakita ko nga, nung nakita ko yung interview ni Coach Yeng, napagano'n na lang ako. Actually, tumawa rin ako eh, kasi feel ko masyado silang na-excite dun sa pag-implement ng 4-point line. Kaya nakalimutan nila yung
typo error yan sa secretariat.
Hindi na
proofread yan. Pre, bago magsimula yung liga, may meeting yung Board of Governors. Hindi na proofread.
May meeting yan eh, di ba? Parang may nag-check ba? Kasi sa akin parang walang nag-check eh. Di ba usually, prior to tournament, you review the
rules and regulations.
Kasama na dun yung tournament
policy,
format. It's pretty much basic. Di ba? So, sa akin, na hindi nila nakita yon, sa akin, kalokohan yun. As in...
Natapat lang, ikaw naman.
Ayun, nakikita natin sa mga screens natin.
Parang hindi nangyayari. Ako sa akin, for you to call yourself a professional basketball league, kaya siguro hanggang ano na lang sila yung oldest, yung mapagmamalaki na lang ng PBA is the oldest professional league in oldest professional basketball league in Asia. Kasi yung mga ganitong example na pinagagawa nila, hindi nakakatulong yun sa di ba pag itong simple as this one, hindi mo na magawa ng maayos, paano pa yung...
Mali yung copy-paste kasi. Mali yung pagka-copy-paste.
My God! My God!
Hindi, pero...
Unacceptable yun.
Pero, syempre, ang sagot lang dyan, liga nila yan eh.
Liga nila yan.
Lalaro. At saka kahit wala namang may advantage, wala namang may twice to beat, yung ranking lang, tapat-tapat, nagkataon, magkatapat, Meralco Ginebra. Di ba? So, big game agad yan. Tapos, Tok Entex Enlex. Bakbakan kayo. Kahit sino naman makatapat mo, at the end of the day, you need to win games.
Ang dapat kasi dyan, yung para lang ma-explain do sa viewers natin, is yung San Miguel Converge, dapat pinalit dun sa, either dun sa Tok Entex or sa Rain or Shine.
Isi-switch lang nila yun.
Yeah, San Miguel Converge, dapat pinalit dun sa Rain or Shine. Yung Rain or Shine Magnolia, kasama dun sa Meralco at Barangay Ginebra. So for me,
magulo pa kasi yung ganyan eh. Mas gusto ko pa yung dati.
Yun nga sinasabi
yung format din kasi ito eh, na ngayon lang talaga nila ginamit.
Di ba ang sinabi nga nila, sila rin naman, pinili naman nila ano bang reason bakit nila inimplemento is bukod sa 4-point line during this this 49 season, di ba, is to create excitement for the league, di ba? Iniba nila yung format. So, dyan babalik dun sa point ko na going back
Middle age problems.
Baka malay mo, sinadya talaga nila para to give the fans an early preview of these strong teams facing up against each other kasi magiging token text rain or shine yan if ever the top one from Group B and the top one from Group A. Tingin mo ba sinadya? Possible kaya?
Hindi na nga pinag-uusapan yung laro pinag-uusapan yung bracketing. Di ba usually ang PBA na pag-uusapan lang yan, yung mga trades na parang alanganin, yung mga alleged farm teams.
Dito sa Manila, yan yung pinag-uusapan. Pero sa probinsya,
Wala. Yan pa rin.
Yan pa rin ang pinag-uusapan, Brad. Yan pa rin si Jason Castro. Tsaka yung pagkapirma kay Ryan Reyes. Tsaka kay Jody Vance. Akala nyo nag-retire. Di nag-retire yun, mga idol. Mga idol, nagpa-condition yung dalawa.
Rafi Ribis nga, ang tagal na nga.
Mga idol,
47 years old na
parang
si
parang kung ano ata edad ko, yun na yung tagal na nilalaro ni Rafi.
Nagpa-condition lang yung dalawang yun. Kasi, sino bang ka-matchup ng Ginebra? Diba? Kailangan nila ng tall point guard. Ano ba yung advantage ng Ginebra dati? Malaki yung playmaker nila. Kasi si Jody Vance, 6'7". Nakalaban ko pa sa PBL. Nung dumating ako ba ito, Guardia? Ako, big man, 6'4", 6'5 lang ako. Guardia, kaliwete. Talagang alam niya yung triangle, yung sistema ni Coach Tim, at saka matalino. Sa token text, anong nagpapahirap sa token text? Yung mga two guard na magagaling. Oh, teka lang. Meron tayong medyo 17 years old na Askal dito na marami nang pinanalo sa atin. Ito, lalaban to ng patayan para sa atin. Activate natin Ryan Reyes kasi healthy. It's been a question with Ryan Reyes. Ano naman ako token text fan eh. Na it's been a question for him for the longest time na lagi may injuries, hindi siya nakakapagpahinga. Tapos i-activate ng playoffs. So, ayan. Tapos may mga import pang nagbabalasa. Diba? So, we'll see. Pero yung bracketing, bahala sila dyan. Liga nila yan. Basta maglaro sila, okay sa akin yan.
Well, do you think this kind of steps back what progress they're trying to make in terms of being a better league?
Has there been progress?
Kailangan nilang...
Has there been progress? That's what I'm asking. Correct naman si Ochammer, that's their league. Diba? Hindi naman natin ligayin eh. Pero if we're gonna talk about it, and if we're gonna be real about it, tatanong ko lang sa viewer, has there been progress? Has there been progress for this league? Kasi parang yung mga binibigyan na nga ng feedback ng mga fans eh. And, di ba, ang dami nilang liga na pwedeng matutunan from Asia and sa US, sa Europe. Pero parang ano sila eh, like, they just wanna do their own thing. Parang may sariling lakad eh.
Ilan teams natin ngayon sa Pro League? 12? Double round robin. Top 8. Yun na lang yung laruin nyo. Tapos,
Pinapahirapan pa nila eh.
Pinapahirapan pa natin. Top 8. Tapos baka na agad. Playoffs, dalawang conference lang. 60 games
Goes back to my point. Di ba? Sinabi ko na to couple of episodes tayo. Ata magkasama nun. Sabi ko, before you even innovate, ayusin mo yung basics muna. Ito nga lang, di mo
Mali kasi talaga yung pagka-copy-paste yan. Ako tingin ko hindi na proofread yung ano.
Okay, so sino ang ano niyan? Di ba under to kay Commissioner Willie Marshall eh. Ako sa akin,
haka-haka lang
para,
ako. Doon ako magaling.
ito na lang, sige, anong solusyon para hindi mangyari yung ganito?
Magdagdag yung team.
Hindi.
Para mas maraming player maglaro.
Hindi. Kung sino man yung nag-oversee nito, which is Commissioner Willie Marshall, has to go. And the people that are tolerate, the only way things changes for the PBA is the commissioner has to go, the people that's tolerating that commissioner has to go. That's the only way it's gonna change. But I doubt it will change, given the way that the way they run things for the longest time.
Saying that the commissioner has to change, who do you think will be an able and the right leader for the PBA instead of Commissioner Willie Marshall?
Lahat ng mga able and willing nasa politika na. Nag-politics na eh. Di ba? Yung mga, alam mo naman, pagka nasa leadership role ka, diretso sa politics.
Sa akin, someone na Iron Fist. Hindi ako maka-name eh, kasi parang yung iba parang yung iba nakokontrol eh.
Si Heihachi Mishima, yan. Iron Fist talaga yan.
Sa akin, parang nakikita ko yung mga the past commissioners nakokontrol in everything ng mga sister teams. So parang sa akin, baka...
Coach Hammer, baka ikaw? Pwede ka.
Ayoko.
Basta sa akin, yung Iron Fist with will run the league to make it grow. With that intent eh. Parang basta, big picture eh.
Ang pinaka-importante dyan, more than the tournament format, leadership will be the leadership. Quality of competition. Yun lang naman eh. Again, yung farm team ba talaga? O kung gusto nyo manalo kayo, bakbakan kayo. Kasi dapat, Una sa lahat, kung
Forever na talaga. As in,
pitpitan talaga, yun lang.
parang for the longest time, hindi pa ba kayo nabibinging? For the longest time, yun na yung farm team.
Ilang years
trade,
na?
unfair trade, farm team, pipitasin. Ganun naman yung conversation lagi sa social media eh. Hindi na nagbabago, parang
Okay.
nakakabingi na rin.
Mahirap kasi yung mga pinipitas, hindi pa naman hinog. Hindi na naihinog. Baka hindi talaga magaling, di ba?
Di ba? Parang dapat ang pinag-uusapan natin, sino tingin natin yung sunod na pipitasin, di ba?
ang dapat natin mga pag-usapan, sino yung mga susunod na akyat? Di ba? Kasi season yun. Dami mga magagaling na partners.
Alright, let's now move to the comments of our viewers for tonight's episode of SPNation Season 2. We're very excited to read
ito mga
what
comment.
we've chimed
Dito
in
ako
on
ninenervous
our hot
eh.
topics for tonight. Sabi ni Edgar Magnaye, ang sabihin nyo, war freak talaga yan. Kaya deserve niya sa rehas, masyadong maangas, may hangganan yan, kaangasan mo. At nangyari na ngayon, di ka nararapat sa sports, dapat sa'yo sa street fighting.
Well, number one, maangas nga kasi pumatol. Number two, dapat wala siya dun sa lugar na yun to begin with. Irresponsible talaga. Yun lang yung masasabi mo dun. May pumatol o may pinatulan. So, either or, mali eh. At the end of the day, you need to be accountable for your actions and reactions. And, yung yabang, nadadagdagan lang yan. Pero hindi ka pakakainin yan. Mahirap kalaban yung yabang. Ego.
Yeah. Pag lagi mong gustong lumusot, kumbaga you're trying to maneuver yourself with the law, eventually it's gonna catch up on you. Tsaka pagdating sa driving, 'di ba sa driving, ako ayoko nang maging mainit na ulo eh. I've changed so much over the past couple of years. Kasi naniniwala ako na yung maangas sa kalsada, may makahanap din silang katapat.
Wala.
Ako, ile-let go ko na lang yun. Di na ako kalmado, dagdag ka lang stress dun eh, di ba? Find that peace in your life.
Yeah.
This is actually the first time he's facing some big charges.
Makahanap din sila eventually ng katapat.
Kaya nga, mas maigi na ito, lagi ko sinasabi sa mga naging athletes ko whenever we train. Kasi syempre, iba yan eh, you're at a position na, lalo na social media ngayon. Ang basketball sa Pilipinas sa social media, hindi po basketball. Yun po talaga eh. Masama man sabihin, pero sasabihin natin yung totoo. Hindi po kasi basketball yung nagsisikuhan, nag-grappling, tapos nang-aasar tayo, nang-trash talk tayo. Tapos pag dinala tayo sa organized na basketball, mukha tayong kangkarot, para tayong turumpo na tagilid yung pako.
Coach, tingin mo bakit parang yung nagiging basketball, last
cool
basketball
eh.
ng ano?
Lahat sinishare eh, pag nagsisikuhan. Nakita mo ba yung isang
May importance din ba yung nagpapatakbo
yung
ng
binanatan?
liga? Kasi you have to protect the players eh. Diba?
Una sa lahat, kasi ang sarap.
Kung kaya mo i-avoid yun, kasi di ba pag sama ng pito, syempre...
Alam mo sino may
babawiin
kasalanan
ka.
dyan? Mga referee. Kaya kailangan sa Pilipinas, yung mga referees natin, mahigpit, tsaka natitrain ng tama ng SBP. Hindi lang pucho-pucho yung mga referee. Kasi
Yun sinasabi ko rin eh.
Officiating eh. Kasi pag mahigpit
nahahayaan yung ganun,
So do you think, kasi that's what Philippine basketball has been known about
Oh,
for the
no,
longest time. Do you
no.
think the culture of Philippine basketball has to change?
I have to correct you. Toughness is different from dirty play.
Exactly.
Dirty play is for people who are not in shape and who are not tough and will just hit people. Kasi di ba akala mo matapang?
Pag di manalo, babawiin ka na lang sa laro eh.
Paano pre? Kunwari,
Kung di marunong yung referee.
Di ba babanatan mo? Binanatan ka, mas malakas sa'yo. Tapos magre-reklamo ka sa social media.
Kaya sa akin, avoidable siya if you have good referees, yung the people that are running you prioritize the safety of players. There's no place talaga yung namimigay ka. Hindi pwede sa basketball eh. Pero the fact na inaalaw siya, ibig sabihin, yung mga referees eh.
Parang nga yung sinabi mo kay Jan eh. Pagka nakakalusot, baka pwede. So, susubok ako ng susubok ulit. Di ba sa Pilipinas, nakita mo, yung mga clips na lang nga eh, susuntukin yung bantay.
Hanggat hindi nahuhuli, susubok lang na susubok.
The
susuntukin.
goal of officials is to manage the game. So,
Paano pag ikaw yung nasapak, tas ikaw yung na broken jaw? Di perwisyo ka pa. Paano kung biglang dadalhin ka sa public hospital? Ang magbabayad pa sa'yo, yung mga taxpayer.
may mga nananakot pa dyan.
Di ba?
Grabe talaga.
Para lang sa yabangan. Kaya,
Alright, we have 5 more comments.
Dami yan, madaming ganyan.
Let's check out the next comment. Thank you, Edgar Magnaye. Sabi ni Deo de la Cruz Loquisan, lesson learned, nasa huli ang pagsisisi. Basketball is a physical game. Junmar Fajardo is an example. Kung gusto mong umunlad, kailangan ng pasensya. Amores is a pro basketball player, kaya dapat sa kanya magmula ang pasensya.
parang mas gusto kong example si Anjo Karam. Kasi si Junmar Fajardo, kahit magtago po siya sa pinaka-dulo na kuweba ng Tawi-Tawi, pag nakita po yan ni Coach Al Francis Chua, nung nagko-coach pa siya, dadalhin niya sa UST. 6'10 po yan. Pero yung Anjo Karam, yung sino pa ba mga... Eman Monfort. Who carved a career now as a coach. Diba? From playing in Ateneo. Yun yung sipag. Yun yung commitment. Yun yung perseverance na...
Pero I think yung sinasabi niya yung kalmado.
Physical game eh.
Hindi, yung kalmado. Si Junmar kasi kalmado eh, di ba?
Kung ikaw, ganun ba naman kalaki yung sweldo mo? Brad, ganun kalaki yun eh.
Bakit? Hindi ka sabi mo na laki na sa akin ni Jan Amores.
Hindi, pero si Abay kasi, Brad, kahit na anong banat mo doon, pre-6'10 yun. Nakalaban ko sa legal
may
labas.
mga players naman na malalaki sahod, pero...
Brad, sabi,
pero grabe rin naman.
Brad, yung physicality kay Junmar, unless na talagang i-hit mo yung 3 trunks niya, ang laki ng hita, Brad. Kasi akala ng mga Pilipino mali si Junmar, 6'10. Okay, hindi niyo po kasi alam yung 6'10 na makapal yung binte, na ang lapad ng likod. Kaya pag sumisi si Junmar, kahit si Star Hardiger natatago.
So sinasabi mo, kaya walang umaaway kay Junmar kasi ang laki.
Tsaka mabait si Junmar eh. Bakit naman?
Yun nga sinasabi niya na sana tularan si Junmar. Yun naman sinasabi niya na...
Ito. Physical. Basketball
Gawing ehemplo si...
Pagka yung 8-time MVP, hindi pa rin yun yung ehemplo, ewan ko na lang. Dahil yan, galing sa simpleng pamumuhay, masipag. Tsaka God-given na 6'10", tapos napakasipag. At nakikinig. Marunong makinig sa magulang at saka sa coaches niya.
Alright, thank you, Dela Cruz, Lokisan. Sabi ni Junmar, patience is key. According to Morris Beltran, ikaw ba aabangan ka ng kalaban mo sa labas tapos marami sila, ano gagawin mo? Magpapabugbog ka ba? Siguro self-defense lang ginawa niya kung wala siyang dalang baril, inabangan sila. Baka si Amores ang patay ngayon.
Siya na yung nasi-share sa social media. Di ba parang yung isang tight end ng Philadelphia Eagles, umawat lang siya si Dallas Goedert. Nasa ano lang sila, nasa parang merienda. Sama niya yung mga barkada niya, nakonsunadahan. Umawat siya. Sumapak. Knockout, pre. Out for 3 games. Basag yung, out for the training camp. Basag, nasa TMZ. Timingan, umawat ka lang. Di ba? Pero, again, ang mali mo dun, bakit ka nandun sa lugar na yun? Parang, alam mong lapitin ka puputaktihin ka ng ganun di ba?
May kasunod pa nga comment
Okay. Sabi ni Arthur Madzone, parang panig ka pa kay Amores. Tama lang yun sa kanya, mabulok sa kulungan. Hindi siya karapat-dapat maging PBA player.
Teka lang. Yung karapat-dapat maging PBA player, wag natin isama dun sa ano. Kasi si Jan Amores, magaling dumipensa, magaling sumot ng 3-point shot, at nakakasunod sa game plan. Iba yung pagiging basketball player sa pagiging mainit yung ulo.
Pero there's another side to it. When you're a PBA player, people watch you.
Yeah.
So,
That's the consumer mindset.
Kumbaga yun, if you as a league, you tolerate that, what does it speak of you as a league? Is you tolerate a player that is violent. And for me, that's not gonna be, that's not supposed to be the case.
So,
and there have been players that have been suspended or that, di ba yung sports betting tinanggal sa yung illegal din. Si John Tay Porter. That's an example. So, what
si
example
Jason Williams, accidental firearm shot, nag-all-star pa nung taon na yun.
Pero
kaya nga, yun nga yung sinasabi ko So, kung ano yung tinotolerate natin. Di ba? Sa akin, kung you're the highest league or the biggest league in the country when it comes to basketball, and you allow individuals like this to play in your league, I don't think that sets as a good example for even if you're a good player.
So doon pa lang mali na yung PBA. Kasi even Charlie Cuna was saying
Hindi, pwede pa siguro yung sumasapak kasi that's part of the game, sumasapak. Pero baril.
Hindi, boxing yun. Brad, mali yung pinapanood mo. Baka boxing yung napanood mo.
Kasi pero sa dami naman ng players na sa PBA.
Baka Pistorama o Blue
No, but
Vibe
I'm
yung
asking lang
is
was the PBA right in allowing him to join the draft?
nung yung draft kasi na-absuelto naman. Inareglo nila Sir Paul Supan sa CSB, yung kay Mark Belmonte. He issued a public apology. Again, papaalala ko lang po hindi po lahat ng Pilipino pwede mag-PBA. Kailangan magaling kayong mag-basketball. Yun po ang number 1 requirement. Kasi maraming nagsasabi, pwede nga ako mag-PBA. Kaya lang baka hindi ka talaga ganun kagaling. Yung bata, may nakita sila Coach Pido. There is something in him. He is competitive. And remember, his first PBA game was very impressive. marami nga dahil it was a second chance. Ngayon, he is a loose cannon. Hindi natin dinidiscredit. Parang Ron Artest, he is a loose
Saka
cannon.
yung comment naman niya, hindi naman sa dinidiscredit yung talent ni John
Hindi,
Amores.
pero kasi
it's more of him being a loose cannon, what he could, di ba? Nakikita siya ng mga tao. So,
That's My Boy ba yung sinalihan? O Professional Basketball Association? So kung That's My Boy, definitely hindi ka pwede. Ako na mismo magsasabi, huwag niyo isali yan. Hindi yan. He is not a role model as of the moment, and hopefully, through this experience, he learns finally. Yun ang dasal nating tatlo. At lahat ng bubuo ng sports station.
Exactly. Alright, thank you Morris and Arthur. Let's move on to the next comment. Sabi ni Girbald Cabalejo, greatest what if nyo, D-Rose or Brandon Roy?
D-Rose. Brandon Roy umakyat. University of Washington after his second year, his meniscus was fully removed. I think it was on his right knee. So that's living on borrowed time. His knees were shot to begin with. The Portland Trail Blazers knew before they drafted him that he has a shelf life that can only last for so long. That's one thing. Dahil yung meniscal injury niya in the University of Washington was really bad na he chose to get it removed for him to play. And yun yung trade-offs eh. Parang nung kay T-Mac din, when his knee gave out, nung nasa Houston na siya, he was given an opportunity na, i-repair natin, iuupo, or i-remove natin, magiging maiksi yung career mo. So, yun yung... pero sa akin, masyadong mataas yung ceiling ng D-Rose eh.
D-Rose. Grabe yung bali nun. Ako, yung pag dumadrive, tapos iniiwas yung bola, tapos babalik.
I mean, just hanging in the air,
Grabe
the
talaga
power that he has with the athleticism that he possesses.
Kung di ako nagkakamali, the only weakness that he had in his game was the three-point shot.
Oh, his knees was his only weakness.
Pero outside of the knees,
he made his three-point shot a very serviceable weapon towards the latter.
Pero I think if there was, kumbaga, kung ikaw yung kalaban ni D-Rose, yung ibibigay mo sa kanya tres eh. Hindi mo didikitan yun kasi
Siyempre, kasi
grabe drive yun. Tsaka deadly yung mid-range nun.
Brad ka, nakita mo naman yung mga highlights eh. Isang di pa na yung layo, nakaka-blow by.
Tsaka pag pinabuelo mo yun, di ba? Highlight 3 ka na.
Contact balance, parang
Posterize ka na.
Okay, let's check out our next two comments, our last two comments. Thank you, Gerbaud. Sabi ulit ni Deo de la Cruz, Lokisan, prone to injury kasi yung kind of game ni Derrick Rose. Swerte pa din siya kasi nakabalik siya sa NBA. Grabing transition ng game niya. MVP mindset talaga siya.
That's true.
He had an opportunity to go to New York, and then he played for Detroit and Memphis as well as Minnesota. He had a decent career in those cities.
His career might have been cut short in terms of yung galing niya, but we cannot deny the fact of the amount of fans that he inspired, the amount of players or aspiring athletes that he inspired, definitely.
Grit.
And I do believe right now, after retiring from the NBA, that he's moving on to become a motivational speaker, especially for young kids, to really inspire them about the journey that he went on despite all those setbacks that he had.
Coach, since you're into SNC, right? SNC coach.
I will not hire his SNC coach. Definitely on my staff. And he stayed with the same SNC coach, ha? Throughout. So that's his biggest weakness.
Ang question ko,
Dapat kasi ikaw yung pinili.
Hindi, kung ako pinili, hindi na siya nakaakyat.
Kung napakinggan niyo yung I think si anong pangalan nung
JT Performance.
Yung point guard na defensive lang, tapos si
Patrick
Beverly.
I remember sa podcast na na-interview siya, sabi niya, talking about Kawhi Leonard. Kaya daw ni-injured si Kawhi. Grabe daw talaga mag-practice.
Yun nga.
So, Coach, anong thoughts mo around, as a player, control mo rin, di ba?
Oo, of course.
It's your responsibility. Or walang control yung players doon. Like yung mga injuries nila D-Rose, nila Blake Griffin.
Injuries happen. Okay? Injuries happen. As a practitioner, your goal is to keep them healthy, get them to perform their sport, and make them injury-proof. Which is, yun ang pinaka-importante. Kasi okay lang, sige, malaki katawan mo, nakakadang ka, pero pagka nakakalabit ka, IR ka agad, di ba?
Because being an athlete, it's your responsibility also to take care of yourself and keep yourself in shape. Kasi part yan ng ano mo ng career mo
Yun talaga, yun ang number one na requirement. Your availability is your biggest ability. That's why Tom Brady is the greatest, and I don't care what other people will say. He was always available after the ACL injury. Didn't miss a game.
But having said that, do you think 82 games is too long of a season? As that's why a lot of players
It puts money on the pockets of the owners.
That's why you get paid a lot of money as an athlete. It's because you have to play those.
But kaya nga nagkaroon na rin ng load management, tumahaba yung roster. Dito lang nga eh. I mean, coaching in college sa NCAA, 18 games. Ang hirap na nung 18 games ha. Yung 2 laro sa isang linggo, ang hirap ng ayusin. May mga times 3 laro. Sunod-sunod, may laro ng Tuesday, Friday, tas Sunday. Mga 18, 19 anyos na bata, ang bibilis rumecover. What more? NBA players get high mileage.
Ako marami naman examples out there that nagkaroon ng longevity to. LeBron James, Chris Paul. Diba?
Genetic freak naman yung LeBron James eh.
Pero yung feel ko yung kahit paano may impact.
May impact.
So sinasabi mo jeans lang.
Yun ang number one. Genetics. Bro, kahit na anong ensayo mo,
pero hindi
kahit
lifestyle.
Lifestyle din.
Lifestyle.
Siyempre lahat yan.
Yung workout
pero
mo.
ang
recovery.
90%, sabihin ko pa, 90% of your athletic prowess is genetics.
Tom Brady. Tom Brady wasn't the most
What is your
athletic.
metrics? Hindi kasi. Ang athleticism niya is he's very sharp on his mind. Yung mental agility
But he
niya.
did the work.
And
he did the work.
But when he gets hit, he never gets hurt. That's one thing. So, athleticism...
No, but
That's very rare.
He got his ACL from that hit.
You know why? It's the only injury he had. Nag-roll sa tuhod niya yung lineman. So, laging ganun eh. So, injuries happen.
Kaya may TB12 method na siya.
Exactly, yung TB12 method.
Marami siya iniintay, may TB12 method siya eh.
Yun
I have Facebook.
Kita mo? Masyadong
Idol
malalim. Kasi pinasok mo kasi yung...
Hindi, tinanong ko nga sa'yo eh.
Pero kasi yan eh, yun talaga.
Baka kasi laging conversation is parang injury prone yung player, sayang yung career. Pero sa akin, may responsibility ka rin as a player eh.
Tsaka pagka yung conditioning coach mo yun pa rin, tapos na-injured ka pa ulit-ulit, ikaw na talaga yung may mali nun. Ikaw talaga yung may mali nun.
Kasunod kasi i-hire niya na si Coach Javi.
Hindi, wag ako.
Alright, let's move on to our last comment for tonight. Sabi ni Manuel Anthony Marquizo, mukhang unti-unti nang nalulusaw ang PBA. Mukhang gusto ng palitan ng ito ang liga, ito ang liga, Wow. Those are some very harsh words.
Malulusaw lang.
What's an English for nalulusaw?
Melting away.
Melting, dissolving.
Dissolving. Nope.
What can you say about that? I mean, they are still considered the biggest basketball league in the Philippines.
Well, as long as the paychecks are still coming, all the players would still want to go there. If it's clean money, if the corporations are still buying in the league. Alam mo, dati pa naman maraming nagsasabi sa PBA na ganito, ganyan eh. Pero kasi nagkaroon ng social media, it's both a good thing dahil na napapakita yung mga highlights, nakakanood ka naman ng mga games, and then there's other comments din. So, basta wala pa ako nakikitang bata na tinanong mo, nagsimula humawak ng basketball, saan mo gusto maglaro? Gusto ko mag-PBA.
Kaya na pati 4 na ako eh.
Yun nga eh.
Pwede.
Kasi parang nalulusaw na kasi yung pagsabi mo na...
Sa akin, hanggang nandyan yung SMC and yung MVP teams, they're willing to continuously support the league. And siyempre, deductible nila yun sa...
Brad, mas mo...
Sa tax,
pare,
tax
accountant ka. Mas maliit ang
Diliit
OPEX.
yung tax return, yung income tax nila dyan eh.
Mas maliit ang OPEX sa annually ng
Kasi
PBA.
deductible kasi yung marketing expense eh.
Maliit ang OPEX, di ba? Kaysa mag-TVC ka, mag-pulyetos ka, kung ano-ano ka marketing. Kuha ka ng PBA team, makakatipid ka ng 80% ng marketing budget.
Dinadaan nila yun as expense.
Isis ko yung college.
Dinadaan nila as expense para, bumaba yung income tax at the same time it becomes, add value sa brand nila.
Yeah.
Kaya wala rin tayong magagawa eh. Wala tayong
quote.
magagawa. It's their business. But at the same time, they're putting off so much, growth and potential by continuously doing what they're doing. Kaya nasasabi nila, nalulusaw.
Love the PBA. I always love the PBA and will always support it. There are other things that are happening. Yung mga sa farm team, scheduling. Basta pag naglaro sila ng bakbakan, tapos pumasok yung Ginebra at Talk and Text, Best of 7, Manila Classico, lahat nanonood. Walang nanonood ng iba. Tsaka gusto ko lang, ito lang yung pinaka gusto kong mangyari. Yung uuwi kayo sa bahay, yung yung AirPods ko.
Ito lang.
Tapos manonood ka ng balita, ipapalipat. Oh, teka, ilipat mo, basketball pa.
I'm gonna boldly throw this out there. At some point, may isang league down the road, may not happen in my lifetime, may happen in my lifetime that's gonna overthrow PBA.
Yeah,
That's my bold prediction.
It could. It could happen.
Could happen.
It
I
could
think it's
happen.
about to happen.
Kasi usually, it's gonna happen. Change of guard is gonna happen.
Oh.
That without a
Pero,
doubt.
mag-change lang ng guard lagi. Parang ano yun eh. Mga dominant countries in the Middle Ages. Nagkakaroon lang naman. Nagka-crumble ang empires. Pag number one, wala nang budget. Saan ang gagaling yung budget? Dalawa sa pinakamatibay na korporasyon sa buong mundo. So, titingnan natin. In the Philippines and of course, I
believe it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
eventually.
Oh. Nothing lasts forever.
Alright mga ka-Sports Plus, that was it for tonight's edition of
Mainit ha?
SPNation.
Mainit tayo ngayong Friday.
Thank you for joining us in our extensive
Pumunta
conversation
ng kumpil.
Sa
Pumunta pa ng kumpil
sakto
eh.
suot ko eh. Kasi
mainit
actually hindi pala, mainit na nga eh. Kasi
May
dahil sa init na
date pa si
conversation.
Yabi. May date pa si Yabi.
Thank you so much once again for joining us, to all those who gave out engagements and those who commented on our feed. Maraming salamat po. And don't forget to register on sportsplus.ph to dive into the world of live sports like never before. Again, thank you so much. This has been Javi Palanya for Coach Hammer, Martin, Antonio, and Dino Lee. Good night and have a great weekend, guys.
Would you say you're a mama's boy or a daddy's pride?
I'm both. And I remember like I called my mom to pick me up. I just sat inside this big trash can and waited for her in the trash can. I was just trying to be the best at what I was doing.